Over the past few months, we've looked at camera settings, composition, movement, and storytelling. But how do you bring all those individual skills together to make a finished film? In this masterclass, I want to show you how I would make a short film from the very first preparation through to the final product. So let's pretend the Reverend at St Mary's the Virgin Church in Clapham has asked me to produce a 60 to 90 second promotional film for the church website. Where do we start? But before I think about locations, flight paths or camera movements, I need to understand exactly what the client wants the film to achieve.
During the first conversation, I use a simple worksheet to guide the discussion. Who the film is for, where it will be shown, and how long it should be, the headlines, and whether there is a particular action the audience should take. For this project, the brief is a 60 to 90 second film for the church website, aimed at local residents and potential visitors.
But these are the two questions that matter most. When someone has finished watching the film, how do you want them to feel? And what is the one message you want every viewer to remember?
Our fictional client wants the audience to feel peaceful, welcome, and curious to discover more. The message is simple. St Mary has watched over Clapham for centuries and remains part of the village life today.
That gives us a brief, but it still doesn't give us a story. Film the church is a subject, a story tells us what those pictures should mean and how we want the audience to experience them.
There isn't only one film we could make. The first concept is a place of peace. The busy world gives way to stillness, reflection, and a moment away from everyday life. The second is the heart of the community, a place for worship, weddings, christenings, celebration, and remembrance. The third is standing through time. While the world around it changes, St Mary's continues to watch over the village as it has done for generations.
In a real commission, I would put those concepts to the client and agree which one best serves their objective. For this project, we're choosing Standing Through Time. Now the film has a beginning, a middle, and an end. First we discover the church in its setting, then we move closer to the marks of its history. Finally, we reveal that it still belongs to the village today. That story becomes our filter. If a shot, a movement, or a piece of music doesn't support it, it doesn't belong in the film.
With the story agreed, the research becomes much more focused. I'm not collecting every fact I can find. I'm looking for the details that help us tell this particular story accurately. I'll look at the church's history and architecture, its relationship to the village, possible viewpoints, access and parking, airspace restrictions, the sun's position, and the likely weather.
Research may reveal a stronger visual, a useful line of narration, or a practical problem that changes the plan before we arrive. Next, I turn the story into a script. This isn't my final editing script, it's my production script. It tells me the story I'm trying to tell. the shots I need to capture, and the emotion I want the audience to feel. Once I'm back at the editing desk, it's this that evolves into the final program.
The script sets out the order of the story, the narration, the pictures and the sound. It gives every shot a job before the drone ever leaves the bag. The opening establishes the church and the passage of time. The middle brings us closer to the stonework, doorway and memorials. The ending pulls back to show St Mary's still held within the village it serves.
It's a working document, not a promise that nothing will change. If the light, weather or location gives me something better, I'll adapt, but I'll still protect the agreed story. Once the words and structure are taking shape, I can decide what the audience needs to see. The storyboard shows how the film should flow, and the shot list makes sure I capture every shot I need to build it.
For the opening, I want a wide reveal that discovers the church within the landscape. Then a slow push or partial orbit moves us closer. Ground gimbal shots through the lich gate and along the path bring the viewer into the space. Details of the tower, clock, doorway, windows, stonework and gravestones carry the idea of time. A final pull away returns the church to the village and completes the story.
The drawings don't need to be works of art. They only need to make the intention clear. Where the camera starts, how it moves, and why the shot is there.
Finally, I turn the creative plan into a practical one. Permission to use the land where needed, flight and airspace checks, a site-specific risk assessment, weather and wind limits, batteries, memory cards, filters, ground camera and backup options.
Good planning doesn't remove every surprise. It gives you enough control to respond safely when the real location is different from the plan. Now we have an agreed brief, a story, research, a production script, a storyboard, a shot list and a practical plan, and we haven't flown the drone once. So in the next episode we'll take EP 101 to St Mary's and find out how much of this preparation survives first contact with reality.